trans test for world swimming. Julian Linden writes that international swimming bosses are preparing to take the plunge. Always love a pun, with the world first event for trans swimmers. The details of where and when are being kept secret for now, but obviously it's a world first for FINA as a way to skirt controversy. Personally, I think a separate class for trans athletes is worthwhile, probably some logistical issues, perhaps around change rooms. But Emily, we don't know the details, but I feel like it's a positive step.
I think this is great news, and I think this is something that needed to be solved by the swimming community itself and not by government. So I'm really glad to see them coming up with very practical solutions. I think most people can use common sense and realize that someone who was born male, regardless of any treatment that they've undergone, is going to be somewhat different biologically than someone who was born female. And that does impact the competitiveness of the sport, and everyone should have a chance to compete on an even playing field, including trans athletes. So I think this is a great news, absolutely.
Now, Ollie, I think it is great news. I think there'll still be some controversy attached to it. What do you think talkback callers would have to say about something like this?
Yeah, I think that they'll be divided on it, Carol. I think they'll probably like the idea up front, to be honest. But see, I've been watching the World Championships the last couple of nights, and as Emily just said there, you just see the way that biological men are able to obviously swim fast. And we've all watched that for years, so there's no surprises there. But it's an outstanding competition, and I personally love swimming. So when you have a trans athlete who was born man, has decided to transition to become woman, they're always going to have an advantage over their female swimmers. So I think this is something which is worthy of at least having, dipping their toes in the water, if you want to pardon the pun there, Caro. But you've got to look at this as providing an opportunity for trans athletes to compete in what might be a safe environment for them, or if they want to try in an open field, go for that. But I think having competition, particularly in a sport like swimming, where you have people who were born biologically male, who might have transitioned to female, deciding to swim up against female athletes, they're always going to have a massive advantage. And we want to keep an even playing field. You want to encourage everybody to swim, absolutely, but you also want to make sure that there is fair competition. So let's give this a go. Let's see how that goes. And I think that this might be a path forward, because I know swimming in particular has been a sport. We've seen it out of the United States where records have been broken in particular colleges that have stood for, decades and decades with these sorts of scenarios. So absolutely, it's a delicate issue, but it's something that I think to protect the integrity of the sport is very necessary.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I just don't think we can keep going the way that we've been going. I think it is actually too controversial, and if there is some sort of solution, that's probably the thing that we should aim for.